Hey guys, welcome. I am doing some painting. I'm doing painting, but I thought I had what do you call these things that hold up your tablet when you're live streaming? Um, the tripod. I gotta figure out a good setup. I'm not the best with this. And let me see if I want to bring this up. Give me one moment. Okay, so there we go. All right, so I am live streaming. Wanted to share some painting with you guys. I think I don't know, I never did a live stream where I was painting before. My friend Laura Iverson, you should check out Laura Iverson's channel. I think it's Zen Breeze Art, and she does live streaming with her art. And I figured I've been home all day enjoying my Sunday. It's the last day of Pesach. And no, I didn't eat much matzah because I am gluten-free. But I am getting ready for the cannabis festival that's going to take place in Kutztown this coming April. And I'm excited. And I'm going to be selling CBD gummies as well as my artwork. And I'm going to partner up with a friend because who wants to be at a booth all day alone? But yeah, the Cannabis Fest is going to be April 17th through April 18th at Renegers Farmers Market in Kutztown. So if you are in the Pennsylvania area, come on out. I will be at booth 709. So I've been watching. Oh, today I watched a series. I don't know how old it is. Maybe it was out last year, the year before. I was watching this series called The Passage. That was deep. It was recommended by Casey from the channel Enter the Stars. It's a Christian channel, and what he does is he decodes all of these movies and kind of shares his insights. Now, of course, a lot of his decoding, it's based on Christian beliefs, but it's very fascinating. And it's interesting because I'm a big science fiction buff, and a lot of movies that I've watched in the past, it really feels like right now we are living those movies, like Contagion, Outbreak. I certainly hope we do not live through I Am Legend. Wouldn't that be it? But, we'll see what happens after this initial, give it a year or two, see how everyone's adjusting to getting their injection, their jab, and I hope that there won't be a lot of negative reactions. Generally, in the massage industry, we don't massage someone after they've had a flu vaccine. We try to wait a while. So I was advised that anyone who did get vaccinated to wait about 2 weeks. So right now I am working on a Hamsa painting, just laying the foundation. And this design is based off of one of my earrings. So that's what I'm sort of basing the motif and just doing some paintings. So at the Cannabis Fest, I will have artwork, some wonderful Indian incense, and some mini body work sessions. And what else? Oh, I will also offer oracle and tarot card readings. So I am excited. So this is probably going to be a boring live stream. But I figured I'd get a little company come on here. But what I need to do is figure out a better setup. Oh, let me turn this phone off. Don't want to have any annoying text messages come in. There we go. Ringer's off. So I'm going to have to hit my friend Laura up and ask her. Or I know who to ask. Divine Needle. What tripod does she use? Because my tripod, it's not cutting it. There was a time about 15 years ago where I painted nonstop. Once the kids went to bed at night, I would start painting, and I would paint till 2 and 3 in the morning. I would not stop painting until my eyes went blurry and my neck hurt. Yep, that was me. Then, what is that cat doing? Hold on one moment. Now she, as soon as I say I'm going over there, she jumps down off the bookshelf. So who's on with me this evening? Anyway, now what was I saying? I forgot. You don't remember. Oh yeah, I hear you. Anyway. So yeah, not much going on here. So I'm gonna decide what colors to put in the background. I know there's gonna be some purple and probably some blue and maybe some red. Maybe. And I will also have a weekly booth at Renneger's Farmers Market. So I'm really excited about that. You know, it's all about diversifying your stream of income. I will be selling essential oils and maybe some crystal. Let's see. Welcome, Ryan. I don't know who you are, I don't think, but welcome. All right. I'm sorry for the awkward setup. If my son was here, he'd probably show me a better way of getting this set up. So yeah, so the Cannabis Festival has been held in my town for the last, I think, 2 years. And it's usually twice a year in April and November, although in 2020, it was in October. And I went there with my second born. And it was awesome. I mean, the traffic was out of this world. The traffic was so bad, people were calling the state police complaining. So it should be a good turnout this year, and I'm excited. So feel free to share in the live chat, like some of your favorite YouTube channels. I'll share some of mine. I used to enjoy Leak Project with Rex Bear. Hold on, I need to clear off my brush. And I enjoy Ashira Star Goddess. Let's see, who else? Where are you from, Ryan? I don't recognize your name. Let's see. Let's see. So Leak Project and Southwest. Okay. Oh, okay. Welcome, Ryan. Right, now I recognize your name. I think. Anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, Leak Project is a really cool channel. Used to enjoy, what was his name? Mr. Astrotheology with, what's his name? Bonacci? I don't know why my brain is drawing a blank. I enjoyed that channel. So I live on a small organic farm, kind of like a hobby farm, and right at the base of the woods, and I love it here. It's absolutely amazing. Very peaceful. I absolutely love nature. And, you know, I was at the secondhand store up the street from my office in town. And as I was leaving, the clerks there, they wanted to show me this really cool light that had a built-in fan. It was one of these, very similar to the art light that I'm using right now. But see, I'm trying to get out of the habit of spontaneous purchases. I came in specifically to see if they had any teapots because I want, you know, I collect teacups and teapots, and not without reason. I give my teapots and teacups away. I gave a teapot and teacup set to my son and his girlfriend last October, and earlier that year I gave one to one of my stepsons, and it gives me a lot of joy. So I always like to go in and see what specials they have, and I found this really gorgeous teapot. Oh, God, I shouldn't even be telling you about it. It's still out in my car, but it was so cute. The teapot was shaped like a tea time table. It was this cute little table, and it looks like the tablecloth, the body of the teapot. And then on top of the lid was a little miniature teacup set and a teapot and the sugar and creamer. I'll have to show that to you guys next time. So, oh, how's life out there in Tucson in the Southwest? I've always wanted to, that's Arizona, right? Yeah. I've always wanted to go to Arizona when I was younger. And even up to a couple years ago, I always sort of fantasized one day that I would live in New Mexico. But I don't know what happened. I think someone mentioned that there were scorpions and tarantulas. So that was enough to dissuade me. Let's see, I have, uh, yeah, when they said they're, they have to shake their shoes off, I don't want to die by tarantula, scorpion, because I heard that if a scorpion stings you, you could die. I don't know. Or is that the clear scorpions? I know, guys, I'm all over the place. It is spring here in Pennsylvania, so the allergies are kicking the heck up. Venegon, Venegogans. I can't even pronounce that. Anyway, yeah. Oh, is that the name for the clear scorpions? I think I'd probably crap myself and pass out if I was to find a scorpion in my shoe. Oh, another channel I've enjoyed, well, some of his content, Dr. Sam Backman. He's a psychologist, and he specializes in narcissism and borderline personality disorder. So I enjoy learning a lot from his channel. And on that note, Richard Gannon, I think his name is. He's another one. He's the Spartan coach. Yeah, they have no stingers. They have no stingers? Are they poisonous, though? I heard they were poisonous, that they could kill you. So I don't know how they could kill you if they don't have any stingers. I don't know. I know the stinger is on the tip of the tail. So anyway, who else? Enter the Stars. I mentioned that person. Oh, I'm a big fan of Mike Barra. He's hilarious. You can find his channel, Mike Barra, and then I. Actually, I met him. He used to be a regular on Ancient Aliens. And I met him, 3 years ago now, out in Pasadena for the Alien Con in 2018. That was a wonderful trip. I really had a good time then. I met Gates McFadden, who is Dr. Beverly Crusher on Star Trek The Next Generation. And I can't remember the actor's name, but I met the actor who played the holographic doctor on Voyager. And he asked me if I was an actress. And I almost thought he was about to ask me for my phone number until they called him over to sign autographs. They called him over, and oh my gosh, I used to always have a crush on him. I know, I have weird taste. I really like that intellectual type. That was a fun trip. I flew into LA, and as soon as I touched down in LA, I was immediately taken to the train station so I could hop a train and go to Coarse Gold, California. That was another what was that? Was that a 3-hour train trip? Yeah, that was 3 hours, after flying 6 hours from PA out to LA, because I wanted to go to Coarse Gold to meet up with my sensei and his lovely wife, my sensei, Reverend Koyo Kobose sensei, and his beautiful wife, Adrienne sensei. And they're from Bright Dawn Center of Oneness Buddhism, where I graduated from. Gosh, oh my goodness, that was 11 years ago when I started that training. And then I graduated in 2013. That's a wonderful organization. So I went out to Chorus Gold, and I think I arrived at 7 o'clock in the evening. That's where that video on my channel of the hummingbirds comes from. Oh, another channel I enjoy, Priestess Sekhmet. She's one. She doesn't post very often, but every now and then she'll share some insight. I like The Peculiar Daughter. She's very interesting. You check her out. Thunder Wizard, Mahadevi, or Michael Denny from Thunder Wizard. I actually had him, he was a guest on my channel. He was one of someone that I interviewed on my channel, and he specializes in Norse shamanism. So you should check him out. He does lightning qigong. And he does runes and has different trainings and apprenticeships for his shamanism that he sort of synthesized together. I enjoy that channel. So this is coming along. I have to admit, I can at times be the grand procrastinator. It takes me a good while to get going, get things organized, but I was able to put, what do you call that stuff? You know, put the gesso. Oh, let me show you my gesso, whatever you call it. Look at that. I miss this guy. We're going to make little trees over here and some seagulls and the mountains. Bob Ross. And let's see, what other channels would I recommend? I don't know why my mind is drawing a blank. You guys got any channels you recommend? How was your day? How was your Easter, if you celebrate Easter? I watched the neighbor kids ride their bikes, little Mennonite kids barefoot riding their bikes. Reminded me of when I was a youngster and I used to ride my bike barefoot. Let's see, put this last little touch on up here. So there we go. Is that a name of a channel, Ryan? Kali is cream? All right, so what color are we gonna do next? Thank you, thank you. All right. Maybe I'll go for some red. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. This is going to be a red Hamsa. Should I use the crimson? I remember when I was younger and I used to be obsessed with painting I painted all the time. There was nothing you could do to stop me from painting. And I even remember saying something really stupid one time, and this was back when I was in my 30s. I said, I am obsessed with painting. I will always paint. Even if they tell me that this paint could cause cancer, I don't care. I just want to paint. It's so funny how you, hopefully, some people don't, hopefully grow up and mature and get rid of crazy ideas. I no longer feel that way. I no longer feel that way, but I did when I was younger. I was just like, let me paint. Give me paint or give me death. I know that's crazy. Yeah. Then I got a blood clot. And because what I would do was when my children would go to their dads for the weekend, I wouldn't do anything. I'm pretty much a homebody. I don't go out really. I would sit on my sofa. Oh, wow. I'm looking at how this looks on the camera. Oh, maybe it's because I have a blue light filter on my tablet, so maybe that's why it's looking pretty electric teal. That's what it looks like on my tablet. I'm sure it's probably not looking like that color for you. But anyway, yeah, I used to paint when my kids would go away for the weekend. My 3 older sons, they're all grown now in graduate school and graduating college. I would put in the Matrix, or what was the other one? It was either the Matrix or Firefly. I've probably seen the Matrix 10 times. Or I would put in the Firefly or watch the Sci-Fi Channel. And I would not leave that sofa all day. I mean, I'd get up and go to the restroom or whatever, but there was a spring on the sofa that used to stick out into my leg, and it would really, really hurt. But I was so dedicated to my art that I would literally ignore the pain. I figure I would ignore it long enough till I didn't feel it again, feel the pain anymore. That turned out to be not such a good idea because I ended up developing a blood clot. I started having this excruciating pain in my leg, behind my knee. And I've never been one to take medication, but I had a friend who we went to synagogue together. She was what do you call those? Physician assistant. And her husband was a doctor, for that matter. But actually, I think her husband may have passed away by that time because this was 2006. He unfortunately passed away in a race car accident. He was a doctor, but he did race car driving. But anyway, I was in so much pain that I actually went over to see her. I wanted her to give me some pain medication, put me out of my misery. I was in that much pain. And I remember when I was driving over there, and I was literally in tears while I was driving. And my son, my second son, Jordan, he's a physicist now. Oh, yeah, actually, he was a guest on my channel about 3-4 years ago. He's now in graduate school, getting his PhD at University of Chicago. And when I was crying, and I was like, we got to get over there. I'm in so much pain. And he's like, maybe you have a blood clot. And I was like, oh my God, don't say that. But when I went over to my friend's house, she knew how I was, that I wasn't into taking medication and stuff. She gave me a painkiller, and she was like, you really need to go to the hospital. So I called up my ex-husband, telling me he had to come get the kids, and that I had to go to the emergency room. And it turned out, sure enough, I had a blood clot. And they gave me heparin. I'm really enjoying this. I know you guys are probably bored, so I'll probably end up deleting this video, but this is kind of like therapy for me. The position is a little awkward. The table is at its lowest setting, and I am kneeling on one of my meditation cushions that I made 5 years ago, 6 years ago actually, when I first started my meditation sangha. But anyway, they put me on a heparin drip, prescribed me Coumadin that I had to take for 3 or 6 months, and this was back in 2006, March actually. So it was around this time. It was March that I went in, and they put me on a heparin drip, and then they sent me home with love knocks. That's where I had to give myself a daily injection. Yep, I had to inject myself in the fat on my belly. And those who know me, they know me that I'm very thin, not a lot of fat on me, but after at that point having 3 kids, even on my skinny little body, because it's just not in the exercise, I had a little bit of roll on my tummy, so I had a little bit of fat. But I remember leaving the house, I told the kids I had to take a walk. And I remember walking and saying to myself, Tamu, you can do this. You can do this. You can do this. You can give yourself an injection. I mean, I did not like needles. I don't know how I ended up getting these tattoos, but I was convinced to do it. Got over my fear, and I got the tattoos, but I afraid of needles. But I remember there was this woman, Valentina, from my synagogue, and she was a diabetic, and she gave herself injections every day. And I remember saying to her, how do you shoot yourself with that needle every day? How do you do it? She's like, I have to. If I don't, I could die. And I was like, okay, Tama, you can do this. You can do this. I went for a walk around the block in the neighborhood to get myself psyched up. And I arrived home, took out that hypodermic needle, man. I don't know how people shoot up. Took out that hypodermic needle. It already had the love knocks in it. And I gave myself an injection. I did it. And every day that I had to do it, I think I did it twice a day. I can't remember. I know I did it 2 weeks. Maybe it was once a day for 2 weeks. I did it. And every day I had to psych myself up to do it. Give myself that injection. And because I was semi-vegetarian, so ate a lot of greens, which greens have K2 in it, which is coagulating, helps to encourage coagulation of the blood, which, interesting enough, stream of consciousness, when male Jewish babies are born, they are circumcised on the 8th day, according to tradition. And it turns out K2 reaches its peak in full effect by the 8th day of birth. Go figure. So anyway, because I was a vegetarian, well, I would say my diet was 80 to 90% vegetarian. I probably eat a little more meat now than I used to. Actually, I'm anemic, so go figure. The blood thinners weren't doing their job. So the doctors kept telling me, it's like, oh, this isn't working very well. And I would have to go in once a week for 2 weeks to get my blood checked. And let me tell you, my nerves were on edge because prior to myself having the blood clot, I had heard that I just assumed that if you get a blood clot, you're dead, that it was a death sentence. So every night I would go to bed completely freaked out and thinking that I wasn't going to wake up in the morning. I had severe anxiety, and I didn't want to leave my children because I had young children. I mean, yeah, they had a father, but, as their mother, I didn't want to leave them. I'm so thirsty. So every time I felt a twinge of pain, I would call the doctor up. And I called several times. And a couple of times I called, there was this Indian woman, this doctor would answer the phone. And one day she said to me, you need to see the psychiatrist. So I think she was telling me I needed to get I just couldn't get it out of my mind. I thought I was going to die, and that pain was not going away. Actually, that pain stayed with me in the back of my leg for several years afterwards. But after she said that, she's like, you are fine. You are okay. Is there any heat? Is there any redness? No. Before there was heat. She's like, you're okay. So after that last call, when she said that, I didn't call back. So when I would feel the pain in my leg from the blood clot, I had to talk myself down. You're okay, Tamu. You're not going to die. You're okay. And eventually I was able to. A friend of mine was a physician. This is a different person. And he had prescribed for me some sleep medication. I think he gave me samples and a prescription. Ambien or Lonestra, I can't remember. But I took that stuff and it made this weird tingly sensation in the back of my skull that radiated up my skull. And I was like, I am not taking this stuff. So I stopped taking that sleep medication. And I just sucked it up, buttercup. And after about 3 to 6 months of being on the blood thinner, they took me off. But I was never the same after that. I stopped painting. So from 1999 up until 2006, all I did was dream of painting. I painted non-stop. Let's see if I can put this there. That's what I did religiously. You can find some of that artwork. You want to see what kind of crazy woman I was back in those days? If you go to Flickr, FLICKR.com, Flickr, you look up Tamu Ngina and Libra Woman Arts with an S on the end, because I love the S's on the end. You will find about 200 plus pieces of my artwork, my ACOs. A lot of that artwork sold, except for the ACOs, because I would only sell copies of those. But after that scenario, for a long time, I lost my drive for painting, and I've never quite gotten back into it. But now that I'm in my new place, working on getting everything in order, because I have to be in a happy place in order to paint, create. Now my writing, because I'm also a writer. Okay, let me rephrase that. My eldest son, he's a writer. All of my children, actually, they are amazing storytellers, amazing writer. Although my son, who's a physicist, He's an amazing technical writer. I remember when he was a junior in high school, he did this research science project, and then he had to write up an abstract about it. And I swear it was like an abstract that I read in a medical journal. It was so professional. Now he's getting his PhD in physics. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, I like to write poetry. And if you go to my Instagram account, you will see some of my, I call it free verse prose, that I would write when I would take photographs. Haven't done that in a while, but spring has sprung, and I'm sure I'll be getting out there and taking new pictures. So anyway, I'm really liking how this is coming out. So thank you guys for being here and gracing me with your presence and your energy, because your energy as well is going into this painting. And this is going to be a work available at the Cannabis Fest. And also, let's see, hold on one second. I need to get this a little bit closer. My works will be available on a weekly basis at Renegers Market. I'm so excited. So excited. Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's like I lost my drive for painting. But later I did research on Coumadin, because in 2009, when I was pregnant with my fourth son, the crisis, what do they call that? High-risk pregnancy doctor. They wanted to put me back on the Lovenox, the daily injections for the entirety of my pregnancy, because they were concerned that I would get a blood clot. And see, the thing is, my circulation is not the greatest, so, but when I went in, when I had the blood clot, they ran all these tests, diagnostic tests on me, because, sometimes you can have conditions that make you, or genetics, congenital disorders that make you susceptible to blood clots. But I had none. So that's why I'm fairly sure it's because of A, the poor circulation, and B, sitting on that horrid sofa. I got rid of it for prolonged periods of time. So the doctors were really concerned that I would get a blood clot, because when a woman's pregnant, her body doubles and the volume of the blood doubles, right? So they were like, you got to go on this Lovenox. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. I'm not in crisis mode. Death isn't imminent, or at least that I know of, because, death can be imminent in any, you could walk out the house and a meteor could fall on your head, or you could be sleeping in your bed and a sinkhole could open up and swallow your bed. It has happened in Florida. But since death wasn't like staring me in the face, it was an emergency, I decided to do some research. So I remember I asked the doctor, I said, can you tell me what Lovenox is made from? And she's like, oh, I have no idea. And I'm thinking, you're a high-risk pregnancy doctor and you're prescribing medication and you don't know anything about the medication? But see, I've been in those doctor's offices before, because I was a office manager for a short stint. And those drug reps, they're handsome men, beautiful women, and they come a courting. They court that office. They bring gifts and all their legal drugs. I call them legal drug pushers. I like that. Thank you guys. So I decided to do research. No, I did ask her what it was made of. She said she couldn't tell me, so she decided to print out the insert. Turned out she printed out an entire 54 pages. And she's like, oh, you could take this home with you. Big mistake. I was like, okay. So I took it home with me. So some of the questions that I did ask her, oh, let me show you. Liquitex. It's one of my favorite paints. These paints are so expensive. That's my silly cat. And this, what is this called? Dioxazone purple. If I could smear this all over my body and roll around in it, oh, this color is so beautiful. I have like 5, 6 bottles. It is really super expensive. So anyway, she said, oh, well, you can give yourself injections every day, and then 2 weeks before you give birth, you'll have to go off of it so that you don't hemorrhage. I'm like, hemorrhage? Oh, while you're giving birth. And then you go back on it after you have the baby. And I was like, well, I plan to nurse. Will this affect the baby? And she's like, oh, no, it won't go into your breast milk. And I was like, what? Wait a minute. If I eat garlic or drink alcohol, baby will be affected. The baby will have gas. How is I could take something that's going to thin my blood and it's not going to affect my breast milk? So I took that printout home and I read it. And she also told me that it was perfectly safe for pregnant women, blah, 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 blah. I read that insert and it said something about it was out of 250 women tested. And then, what was the other thing? That 15%, I don't know if it was either 15 or 15% hemorrhaged. And I was like, oh, hell no, I'm not taking this. I'm not taking this. And then it also said it's inconclusive of whether or not it will get into the breast milk. And I was like, this woman has no idea what she's talking about. And I have to get this cat because the cat is trying to chase a stink bug off of the ceiling and keeps knocking over paintings and books. So she can go in the room for a little bit. So anyway, I took that insert home, I read it, and I made the decision that I was not going to take that Lovenox. Ugh, look at this. It just got paint all over my hands. So what I did instead was I decided to do research on what are natural alternatives. Isn't that a beautiful color? As you can see, I've used it a lot. What are natural alternatives to Coumadin? Which, did you know? Warfarin, Coumadin is actually rat poisoning. So when people are taking Coumadin, they're actually taking small amounts of rat poisoning. And what that rat poisoning does, it makes the rats, when they eat it, it makes them bleed to death. Yeah, it makes them bleed to death. So I did some research, and it was interesting what I was coming across because, I went on different forums, and people were also asking about alternatives because, like, one woman said that her father had been on Coumadin. He was an elderly gentleman, and it had changed him, like his personality changed. And they wanted They did not want him to go back on the Coumadin. And I always wondered, always felt like going on that Coumadin affected me. Like it took away my drive. Like my ambition really took a nosedive after I had that blood clot. So it was a little affirming when I was reading that other people had experienced that and did not want to, be on that Coumadin blood thinner anymore. And so I did my research. And I say before you decide to do whatever, it's always good to do research and consult with your physician. So this is not medical advice. This is just sharing my story. So alternatives were to take fish oil, omega-3 fish oil, and magnesium. Let me tell you, people were not happy with me. You're putting your life in danger. You could die, blah, blah, blah. And I was just like, you know what? Since I don't have a precondition that I'm destined to get a blood clot. I mean, it's a possibility. It's a possibility with anyone. I'd rather not take this medication that is not, super safe, even though they said, oh, it's 100% safe. I'm like, you only tested 250 women. That's not a big enough margin. And the amount of side effects out of that oops, it's the wrong color. What did I do with the white? The number of side effects, wasn't worth it to me. So I took the magnesium and fish oil for my pregnancy. And I'm still here. It was funny, after I gave birth, the nurse midwife called me up. Oh, Tamu, I see you had a blood clot in the past, and we need to get you on Love Knocks right away. We don't want you to die. I didn't want to argue with her. She was kind of stern. You know how those nurses can be. They will manhandle you. The nurses are in charge. So I was like, okay. So she wrote the prescription, but I didn't get it filled. Didn't want to hear it. Just did not get it filled. Now, I mean, I wouldn't recommend that to everyone. Everyone's situation is different. But yeah, I'm big into advocating for yourself and doing research and not just following what the doctors say. You get second opinions, third opinions if you have to. A third opinion. Anyway, I love this color. Blue, black, purple, whatever color it is. Love it. And I lived. And I continued taking the fish oil and the magnesium for I think at least a full year after I gave birth. And then after a while, I stopped taking it. But tonight, I am sipping on magnesium. And I did take Omega Red, which is the fish oil. I don't know if that's krill or what, but I took my fish oil today. Take my Ocuvite. I think it's called Ocuvite or Oculite. It's by Bausch and Lomb. Bausch and Lomb. That's for your eyes, especially if you're doing a lot of computer work. I will let you out, young lady, if you stop climbing on my bookshelf, knocking my stuff over. Yeah, I hear you. So. Yep. So nothing going on over here. But yeah, it's really good to, you know, keep that blood thin. Exercise, eat right. And if you're on Coumadin, stay away from alcohol because that stuff thins your blood as it is. You don't want to end up bleeding. You can bleed to death internally. That stuff happens. So anywho, this has been an enjoyable experience for me. I don't know about you guys. I kind of feel like I'm probably boring you to death. Oh, another YouTube channel that I enjoy, Priestess Offset. I actually interviewed her on my channel once upon a time. Oh, and another one, Sonia Barrett Robinson. She's the woman, I don't remember what she did professionally, but her story is, let's see, I think she wrote The Holographic Canvas. I think that's the name of her book. I'm going to let this brat out, see if she's going to behave herself. Are you going to behave? She flipped her bed over. Anyway, Sarah Barrett Robinson, she has a channel, and her story was she had a meditation practice daily for 10 years. And after 10 years of meditating, all of a sudden, these concepts from physics and equations just started popping into her consciousness, theories. And she did research and discovered that, yeah, these equations that were popping into her consciousness were actual, real physics theories. That's freaking awesome. So she wrote this whole book about it. You know, I've always said that, you know, we have within us everything that we need. Everything we have within us, if we'd only sit still and listen. And it's important. I know for myself, sometimes I get away from that, especially when I'm going through a really stressful time. And I know that's the time that I should be sitting more. And you got distractions and family issues going on. You kind of forget yourself, but you can't afford to do that because it messes everything up. I know I'm very sensitive energetically. I'm in Libra, and I always strive for balance. And when I get out of balance, oh, hell have no fury. Anyway, and what was really interesting, one of my cousins, a couple of years ago, she got surgery. I forget what the surgery was for, but that's neither here nor there. But she had posted on Facebook how she was having, after her surgery, you know, it took a minute for the anesthesia to wear off, where, you know, flush out of her body. You know, just because you wake up, you know, you still have anesthesia in your body. She was having vivid dreams, and physics theories were coming to her in her dream. And she would look them up and realize that she was dreaming real concepts. Isn't that phenomenal? I mean, there is more to life than what we understand and what we know. And we have to utilize this precious human existence and make something out of it. You know, we don't want to waste our time with bad habits, with, drinking and sitting in bars and just wasting our life away. It's important to get out there and discover who you are, not be afraid to be alone and spend time alone and know thyself, as the ancient Kemetic people would say, and the Greeks borrowed that, know thyself. And it's so true. So this is coming out really great. I think what I might do, my phone is reminding me that your bedtime is set for 10 p.m. It's time to start getting ready for bed. But I'm glad I got this painting done. Well, not yet, but, getting there. And I'm glad that you were able to share this moment with me. It's been fun. And I don't know, I'll probably keep this video up on my channel for a couple of days for a little inspiration. Then I'll delete it, and I'm sure to keep me motivated for my own selfish reasons. I'll probably do another live painting session. And I'm glad I got this done. Not finished with it yet, but we're getting there. Oops, sorry, it was out of camera doing that. What? You need to stay down. Let's see. There we go. We are back. Am I upside down? We are back. Am I upside down? We are back. Am I upside down? We are back. So we're going to end this live stream. And thank you for joining me as I painted this. We're having some weird feedback, so we're going to end here. Have a wonderful Sunday night.